As we brace for the cold weather ahead this week, we're on your side by going over the 5 Ps. And before we get to that, it looks miserable in Jax Beach right now. Oof. The 5 Ps, a plan to protect your home and your loved ones during the cold weather. First on the list, protect your plants. Be mindful of that tender vegetation. Either cover cold-sensitive plants or bring them indoors when temperatures are in the low, 30s and 20s especially.
Well, this is another important one. Protect your pets. Bring your outdoor animals, or make sure you provide them with a nice warm shelter so they're staying warm as well.
Yeah, if you're cold, they're cold. And come on, you put your dog on your bed late at night, that'll help warm you up as well. And puppies are cuddly as well.
Get a friend.
The third step of protection, protect people. Dress in warm layers and wear hats or gloves if you need to. We joke all the time about it being flip-flop weather in Florida, but if you have to be outside prolonged periods of time, just be smart before you go outside.
And it's also important to protect your pipes. Something we don't think about, but you might have to cover your pipes or allow outdoor faucets to drip slowly to make sure they don't freeze up. Even at the small drip, one little drip doesn't have to be full go, but that will help out.
So you're saying something like that just keeps the water moving to prevent the freezing from taking over?
Exactly.
Interesting. A lot of people with pools, especially in this area. Keep in mind with that.
Something to think about.
Step number 5, practice fire safety. Earlier we were talking about space heaters as well. Long list of here that you need to be aware of when it comes to space heaters. Use safe indoor heating sources as well. Be cautious about where you place those space heaters, and don't use your oven to warm your house. Furnace for that. Do not have 400-degree oven open. Come on, please don't do that.
I think there's one that kind of related to this too. If you have a fireplace, make sure you know how to use it properly.
And that it's cleaned out.
That it's cleaned out,
in
yes.
advance. Also, don't bring your grill inside. That should be self-explanatory, but especially aside from the fire, carbon monoxide poisoning as well. A lot of important tips for people to be aware of as we get cold weather that we're just not used to in this time of year.
It's all valid because, yeah, you're right. Temperatures 30s, but wind chills could be into the 20s, and we're talking about wintry mix, and we might even be worried about some power outages for a few of you. So there's plenty to talk about here, and there's a reason why we are giving you these 5 Ps. And just common sense things. We're not trying to hype this, but we want you to stay weather aware. That's why we're here. That's why me and Rich wake up here at, bright and early on a Sunday morning to keep you guys updated. So we got a weather impact alert this morning. We have one tomorrow morning for the cold, and then we have the other one Tuesday night and the Wednesday morning. I'm sure you're hearing all the buzz. Something we've been talking about is that wintry weather. That is Tuesday night, Wednesday morning's weather impact. So we have multiple days here of just some messy weather. I mean, right now the radar showing these storms, but the issue is it's been raining all night. It's not so much, yes, these severe thunderstorms, which right now we got one moving through Crescent City over towards Palm Coast. These are bringing 50 to 70 mile per hour winds in themselves. But if you look back towards the north, things are finally starting to dry out across Jacksonville. But we've seen about 3 to 5 inches in spots here extending across the I-10 corridor. And a lot of you probably waking up this morning with soggy yards, maybe some ponding on the roads around your home. And I know there are a few spots across Jacksonville already seeing a bit of flooding here. Now, hopefully it does dry out as we go ahead through this afternoon, but then temperatures are going to drop quickly tonight. In any areas that are still damp, could see a little freeze, maybe some black ice for some inland areas, especially out towards the Swanee Valley. As we go ahead through tonight, it is going to be cold, and then it stays cold and the moisture arrives, and there you go by Tuesday evening. So let's talk about this. Temperatures, well, tonight, this is 7:30 tomorrow morning with the wind chill. So we got a breezy, and it cools down into the 20s. This is the reason why the MLK parade has been postponed. It was a smart move because this is 7:30. This is around the start of when it was supposed to start. It would have been 20s in Jacksonville. I mean, it's still going to be 20s, but it would have been with a parade. So tomorrow morning, dangerously cold with that wind chill. Make sure you prep for the cold out here. This moisture is going to move out. It's going to be chilly, northerly winds. Then we look ahead. Let's continue scrolling through on our futurecast. Let's look towards our west. Here it comes, the next round of weather. Now, the blue is indicating the fluffy, beautiful snow flurries, all right? Most of the First Coast is not going to see that. I want you to manage your expectations on this. If you're down here south of Jacksonville, you're not going to see inches of accumulation. Any place that actually could see snow stick to the ground is probably northern areas of southeast Georgia. We're talking about over here towards Ware, maybe even to Charlton County. But for Jacksonville, the higher chances that wintry mix. We're talking about rain, sleet more than likely, these ice pellets, and maybe some freezing rain, which would be problematic. I think the bullseye for the freezing rain right now, this of course could waver, is going to be from Waycross over towards the Folkston, maybe into the Brunswick area. See that here in our guidance. It's been lining it up right there. It's actually shifted a little bit further towards the south in the latest run, but this is something we're watching creep up and down over the last few model runs. That is the spot that I think the biggest impact is going to be. So firstcoastnews.com and on FCN Plus, we are continuing to track this. We're going to have team coverage for you as this develops and throughout the duration of this event. So make sure you check it out.
Thank you, Robert. Coming up, meet a dog from the Jacksonville Humane Society who's looking for a forever home. Pet Tales is next.